What's happening, guys? This is James Blonde with MMOHut.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements for the week ending March 18th, 2013. And as you can tell from the video playing in the background, our first bit of news comes from RaiderZ. And the news is that on Monday of last week, Perfect World released a new video showing off the first details on RaiderZ Broken Silence, which happens to be the first expansion to the game. The name is definitely appropriate for the expansion because it's actually been a little while since we heard much about this game. But anyways, players will experience an increased level cap, new zones to explore, more epic bosses, new features, and of course, new gear crafted from the fallen bosses. The pretty decent sized expansion will also feature a brand new PvP battle arena that we really don't have too much details on yet, as well as a new wave system that helps improve party matchmaking, making it easier for players to hunt raid bosses together. Our next bit of news comes from Wargaming, and the news is that World of Tanks has set yet another Guinness World Record for most players online simultaneously on one MMO server. World of Tanks has had the previous record set in 2011 of 91,311 players on one server at once, but now as of the past couple of months, Wargaming broke their own record with 190,541 players. Over the last couple of years, the changes made to the game have significantly increased its player base, and with numbers like that, I'm surprised they don't throw some crazy parties. Oh wait, they do. Next up on March 13th, Killer Combo continues the Elsword transformation series. This time, Raven becomes even more menacing, transforming into the Weapon Taker. Raven's giant metal claw turns into a virtual weapon of mass destruction with aggressive high-end attacks. But the Weapon Taker's standout new feature is the new Overheat mode, which deals extra incendiary damage to enemies, but it actually injures Raven himself when he uses it. This adds yet another element to the game's PvP mode, as players will have to choose whether to deal extra damage to get the job done then, at the possible sacrifice of their own loss. Next up is more news regarding Neverwinter. Just last week, the Control Wizard class was released for those participating in the closed beta weekend, and with its popularity, Perfect World released a highlight video, which you see playing in the background, showing off the arcane magic powers of the new class and how they play their part in groups in some of the game's newly accessible areas. While the Devoted Cleric can keep your party standing, the Guardian Fighter can go toe-to-toe with a dragon, and the Trickster Rogue can make sure that dragon dies, but the Control Wizard has the power to keep that dragon from ever reaching combat. Also on the 13th, Game Update 4 launches for PlanetSide 2, featuring a new Try Before You Buy training area, upgrades to the respawn screen and map, and players will now gain increased certifications while not in active combat. Although these are only a few features among many added to this update, but the new Try Before You Buy feature allows players to test out all the weapons, vehicles, and attachments that are available to them in the game, including the new Empire rocket launchers with camera-guided missiles. There have been some player reports of drops in frame rates from this new update, so hopefully they get that worked out, but if you want to keep up with information about PlanetSide 2 updates, it looks like they're going to make a monthly videos like this one showing off new content. This past week, RaiderZ Studios released Aphrodite, the Goddess of Beauty, as the latest god in Smite. Aphrodite is a unique support god with abilities focused around making soulmates with other teammates. One of her key abilities is Kiss. She blows a kiss to an allied god, making them her soulmate, while giving them additional movement speed. If a kiss hits an enemy, they are stunned in return, making their soulmate jealous, making them deal increased damage. And if that isn't interesting enough, her ultimate grants her soulmate temporary invincibility and removes all crowd control effects on that player. But with this release, RaiderZ also decided that they were going to postpone the launch of the game for no other reason but to polish the game, add more features and gods, although that didn't really change much because anyone who wants to play can already get in. Next up, InnoGames released new detailed information and a new video about the skill tree in their latest game, Kartuga. Complete customization is accomplished in the game through the comprehensive skill tree containing 80+ abilities. Check out the full video for detailed information on the skills within the game's 3 starting classes. InnoGames also launched the 8th era to be introduced to Forge of Empires. This update starts beyond the colonial days during the Industrial Age and further into the future, bringing with it modern chemistry and the rise of the railroads. Players will also find out really quickly that the Age's modern ballistics and bullets are pretty useful on the battlefields. Next up on March 14th, Sony Online Entertainment announced that the closed beta test for Dragon's Prophet is scheduled to begin in North America this coming Tuesday the 19th. I knew it was going to be soon, but this is sooner than I expected. But on the downside, these beta tests are stress tests and with a strict NDA enforced, so it might be a little while before you guys get a first look. But it's also been confirmed that we'll be getting plenty of news and new videos as the game gets closer to a more public beta testing. Last week I mentioned Silkroad Online was planning to introduce a new PvP mode modeling something similar to League of Legends, and this week it looks like they're ready to launch it. Even though the new PvP mode is called Survival Arena and features short and intense match-style gameplay, it's basically timed deathmatch and team deathmatch with a minimum of 8 players and a max of 32. There are, however, several different types of gameplay within the new mode, so check out more of the details in the link provided in the description below. Also this past week, Nexon revealed new information and video showcasing Hayato, the newest character in Maplestory. Hayato uses warrior equipment with a katana as his main weapon. He's a melee fighter with normal mobility, and he features high hit points, low magic points, and focuses on strength. Plus, players can play as a male or female version of Hayato, whose name of course means strong and swift person. This last bit of news has to do with Chrono and the developer's decision to focus on adding new content to the game instead of opening up new servers based on player feedback. In fact, they're actually merging servers 3 and 4. The developers recently released new pets to kick off the addition to new content, Iron Bull and Neon, which are limited edition pets granting players bonus stats. Well guys, that's about it for MMO news. Besides Dragon's Prophet's closed beta being on the 19th, Scarlet Blade is now in closed beta, although they are letting pretty much anyone in. If you're interested, MMOHut snagged the best of 4 possible devastating Diva closed beta packs, and you can pick one up in the giveaway section if there are any left. Not many games going into beta the last week before PAX East. Speaking of which, I'll be there trying to get coverage of the games you want to see. This time, I'm going to get less interviews and more game footage. Granted, they allow it. So feel free to let me know in the comments below what games you'd like me to look into for you guys, and I'll be sure to check them out and try to get some sort of coverage on them. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for MMO news and announcements for the week ending March 18th, 2013. Like always, if you're looking for more information about the news and the recap, head over to MMOHut.com/news, and feel free to discuss the news in the comments below, or head over to MMOHut.com/forums. Until next time guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.